Hello. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's Pick a Read. Somebody on one of the other Pick a Reads, which I don't know if I'm supposed to call them out or not. Not call them out, but you know what I mean. They mentioned they would be looking for somebody, like trying to figure out why somebody is canceling and giving excuses, and I thought that was a good one. So this is kind of going down that road. The question I'm going to put out there is, why isn't this happening? Why is it not happening? So in the same vein of like, why does somebody keep canceling, stuff like that. But can things change? I'm going to add a little positive note. Just like get some truth out there. What's going on? Why is it happening? Is there anything that you can do to change that? That type of thing. So we're going to kind of go with that. I'm going to put this paper up back here so you can see these a little better. I'm going to start with, I want to say this one's going to be the first one. That one is blue spotted Jasper, I believe. The middle one, the green one, is Malachite. And the last one is Citrine. The yellow one is Citrine. So in case you need to see them a little better, I just wanted to put this paper up there so you can see them a little better. And then, if you need a moment to select one, go ahead and pause. I'll actually show each one of them a little bit more here for a second, just in case you want to see them. I think you can see them pretty good, but this is the blue spotted Jasper. Hopefully it's got a little bit of sparkle to it in person, so I don't know if you can see it on camera. I hope you can. So that's the blue spotted Jasper. This is the Malachite, which is very pretty in person. Hopefully it looks nice for you on camera. It's not a huge stone. You can probably tell now that I've got my fingers on it, but just in case you're wondering, some depths of green going on there. And then the final one, of course, is the Citrine, which has a bit of white there and a lot more depth here. In case you wanted to see that one. Almost looks like a tooth to me. Alright, so there's that. Alright, so feel free to pause and decide what one you want, and then we'll get into your reading. Before I do that, of course, if you want a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. This is James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Okay, choose what you need to choose, and let's see what we got for you. Hello to the people who chose the blue spotted Jasper. Pick a reading question is, why isn't this happening? Can things change? To your favor, of course. That's the energy I'm moving towards it, just so you say. Just so in case you're wondering where I'm going with it. This is a stressful one. I could already feel it. But then again, if you chose this, I don't think that's any new information. That's it. Indecision? I don't know about that. Whatever's going on around you, somebody might have too many options. Something like that. I get a lot of communication trying to get this situation going. A lot of information came in to get this situation started, but whatever this is, I'm questioning, like, it's like trying to plan a trip, is what I keep feeling. And it's kind of like, before we invest any money, it's like, oh wait, before we do that, let's consider something else. Before we buy this house, let's look at other options. Before we sign the deal, let's wait and consider a little more what we might want to do with this money instead of doing that. A lot of energy comes forward to get it started, and then it just seems like something new comes in. There's a lot of page energy here too, whatever this is. Page energy, to me, I equate pages to the age between like 12 and 14. A person of that age knows how to do a lot. Very useful to life. Very good. But you don't send them out in the world typically, not nowadays anyway, and expect them to like make everything happen. You don't expect, them to drive a car, make a living, get everything. You know what I mean? Between 12 to 14, there's like coming into their own energy, but there's a lot of like disruptions there too. I'm just saying that's kind of how I read the pages. That's the like, and different ones have different energies. The Page of Swords is more of the communicator, the messenger. The Page of Wands is more of the assistant, the helper, the person who's constantly moving and helping getting everything done. You have those two here. You have the Page of Wands where it seems like something's going to happen, but there's never enough to make it really step forward. It's like only enough in the moment. Like these two, it's like the Emperor working with the Page energy. It's kind of like the Emperor knows what they want, but the Page can't retain that all at once. And there's a lot of options here around the situation. A lot of options that are not seeming to make this situation any easier. It's ironic because I'm a person that I like a lot of options. I'm also a person that's like, for example, when people get together and they're like, where do you want to eat? I tend to like, I like a lot of options, but I'm just like, all right, let's pick one of these three. And then if you're not going to pick, I'm going to pick because I'm not going to sit here and just wait and try to figure something out all day. While I'm a person that likes options, I'm also like, well, if you don't pick, I'm going to pick because we're not going to do this all day. This energy is not this, almost like the opposite of that. This energy is more, if there's only two options, they'll start searching for more. And they don't want to choose. They want to look for more options. This energy does not want to choose. That's the thing. So I gave you the analogy of like how I usually go into it. This is completely antithesis. This is something like if they don't have many options, they're trying to find more options and they don't seem to want to choose. Whatever you're dealing with, be it like somebody like pulling you forward for a job, or maybe it's a dating situation, or maybe it's some type of a loan you're going for, or whatever it is, something about the person who has the power to move you forward is looking for better options and doesn't seem to take you as a serious, it doesn't seem to take you as a serious option. Now, I shouldn't say they don't see you as a serious option. They just want to make sure they have the best. I especially if it's dating, I don't feel like this person is ready to really choose, which is weird. I'm just going to get, there's this one card here in the environment that makes me question, like, what's going on. Okay, so a page again. This time the Page of Pentacles. Too much Page energy here. Which I don't mean to complain about it, but like, if you're trying to make something happen, like, again, that's between 12 to 14 years old. That's how I view them. And it's kind of like, that's not the time. That's the developing time. That's the learning time. That's the growing time, literally. That's not the time to get out there and establish life, and this is where I'm going to be for the rest of my time. And this energy, it's the Empress, which is, I keep looking at this and I'm like, really? So I feel like this person, whoever this is, this situation, it seems like it should be more developed, but it's acting like it's not ready. It hasn't fully developed its thoughts. So if this is a dating thing, for example, maybe this is somebody who has children. That came out almost really weird. And they're not ready to make a commitment yet because I feel like they might be gun shy in the sense of like, we've made bad decisions before and I don't want to make another one. It might be one of those. They're not ready to make the decision. There's the Chariot came in with it. There might be other influences around this where people are also giving them advice saying, don't go forward with this. Don't do this yet. If you're not sure, this is not the time. Trying to find more options or having many options is an option, is a problem here. Because I keep getting this in the, like it's floating around the situation. It's not directly happening to you, but I feel like it's also coming in with this. Either looking for more options or having many options. One of the two is what's causing an issue here. Either they're looking for it because there's not, or there are very many and they're not willing to choose. There's also this fire energy where things seem to move forward, but they don't. So whatever this situation is, I hate this. I hate this so much. They don't want you to walk away before they've decided whether they want you or not. So they keep kind of, even though nothing is happening with this Hanged Man card, they don't want you disappearing yet because like they haven't made up their mind yet. So they're trying to like keep you interested so they can have more time to just, because they like the idea of having the choice. This very much feels like a yo-yo thing to me. So why isn't this happening? The other, whatever you're dealing with has way too many options, or is looking for them. Looking for them is kind of worse, because if you're one of two options, for example, or you're the only one there, they're like, well, I don't want to choose you yet. I want to see if I have other possibilities. This isn't good for you. This isn't good, is what I'm getting. To heal from this, whatever this is, they're saying step back and see it for what it really is. This reminds me of, I just was watching a podcast about this. This is like the good analogy here is like, if you're not really sure about how somebody feels, pull back and stop communicating for a couple weeks and just see what happens. Doesn't mean you can't for the rest of your life, but like give it like 2-3 weeks, don't communicate, and just see what happens. Especially if you're the one who keeps communicating and keeps things going together. Or like step back and really, like, the thing is, you're ready for things to move forward. The situation doesn't want to. Maybe you need a better situation. Maybe it's time to consider that. Whatever this is you're asking about, why isn't this happening? Can things change? If it's related to a person, I feel like it's going to get quieter at some point. It's going to get quieter but not completely disappear. If it's regarding like a job promotion, for example, I feel like I'm not going to hear much about it, and it's going to look like it's just completely passed me by at some point. This is the weird ending, which actually might be a good ending. Because you got things, you're making choices. You're making a different choice at some point. And I feel like they're saying, whatever the situation is, it's not being, I don't think the situation's being respectful to you, quite frankly. Queen of Fire and the Devil. That's a fun one. Queen of Fire and the Devil coming in. Okay. And it's also, this is, the tower, it kind of makes, like if you think of the tower being made with a lot of rocks or bricks or stone, and then the lightning bolt hitting it, like that's the devil is earth, and then the Queen of Fire just kind of, it's not funny, it's not funny. What's this, what does that say? Your prayers are being answered. All right, so you don't have to wait for this moment. They're giving you a heads up. Situation is not working. The situation is not working. And I feel like it's not that things are going to finally go your way. I feel like there's going to be a point where you get fed up and you're going to have to do something because, for example, if you're waiting for a person, if this is a dating thing and you want to go into the next level of like commitment and they're just kind of stringing you along, the way this might finally end is they choose somebody else. You don't have to wait for that. A job promotion, same thing. You're waiting for them to choose you to move forward at this company. Whatever job, it's like there's going to be this point where it looks like this is perfect for me. I've done everything I need to do. I've done this, I've done that. They're going to be like, we went with somebody else. They're also saying this is a good thing. Whatever this is, you're meant to choose something else. You're meant to understand what's going on, see the process for what's going on here, seeing that you're being kind of yo-yoed, and it's not meant to upset you. It's helping you see people for who they are. It's seeing beneath the facade, and it's kind of like you don't have to wait for this moment to happen to where it's painfully obvious that they're not going to choose you. You don't have to wait for that. I'm a big fan of Paul McKenna. If you look at Paul McKenna's books, he's a British author. Anything that pops out to you, go for it. Whatever this is, it has a lot of options or is looking for them, one of the two. And for some reason, no matter which it is, I feel like they're saying don't sell yourself short. If this isn't for you or they're not understanding your value, don't settle for that. They don't want you. Don't let them yo-yo you. Walk away is what I'm getting. Start choosing something different. Especially if you chose this reading, it doesn't seem like it's just once that this has happened. It seems like they've been dragging you along for a while. Just start going in the direction you want. They will try to get your attention. They will try to pull you back towards them. It's your choice whether you're going to go for that. But if they're going to try to pull you back towards them, I wouldn't settle for it unless they move forward. So if they're like, for example, if it's a job situation, you're going for this promotion, and they're like, well, we're not going to give you that, but we'll give you more responsibility. And I'd be like, well, does it come with more pay? And like, if you can give me more pay, we'll see what we can do. Same thing with like a relationship. If somebody's like, well, I don't want to like stop seeing you. We should still see each other. I just don't know yet if I want to be committed to anybody. Well, I do. And if you're not ready for that, I am. Let's go our separate ways for now. Let's give it 3 months. Let's not see each other for 3 months, and then we'll see where each of us are. I feel like a lot of people will go their own way at that point. I hope this is helpful. I hope it's helpful. I feel like it was a good question. The person, whoever put that out there, thank you very much. I feel like this is a good question. I just hope this is helpful, this information, the way this is coming in. All right, I think this one is there. So I'm going to shut this down here. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day. Hello, thank you for tuning into this one. This is for the people who chose the Malachite. The question is, why isn't this happening? Can this change to your benefit? Let's see what we got. That's an interesting start. Something's a little shaky here. Page. Why isn't this happening? That's the question. You know more than you want to admit. You know more than you want to admit. You see this more for what it is than you want to agree with. I feel like they're saying you've seen a lot of the truth. You'd like to believe better. You might be one of those very good-hearted people that want to give people a chance. And you try to do your best to see the positive in people. This might be a lot for this group where not everybody's like that, where they try to see the best in everybody. This might be a lot for this group, maybe. There's been whatever's coming in with this situation, whatever this is for you, that's not happening. I feel like you've done a lot of personal emotional work, which for this one, that's good. You're coming to a point where you're about to break a pattern, is what I'm actually getting. This is actually very good for you, very healing. The pattern is going to break. Whatever this is, I'm not really sure. Like, for some of you, I'm wondering if it's like a career thing. Like, maybe you want, to move up to the next level, or maybe you want to be an artist, for example, or you want to be a musician, or there's something maybe you want to start your own business, stuff like that. You're about to break a cycle. You've done a lot of healing. I feel like for a lot of you, even though this is a healing card for sure, you've done a lot of work, a lot of emotional work at the very least. And you're going in a good direction. All right. So I feel like the energy I'm getting from this is that you're actually sorting out what's real here. You're sorting out what is real, and that's going to help you. While you should have success in your life for sure, it's kind of like, will this give you success? You're not limited to this option, but I'm not really sure if whatever this is you're looking at is going to happen or not just yet from looking at from these cards, because I know that you're breaking a pattern, you're learning something, you're evolving, and you're going to make this a success. If this is going to be a success, if this isn't, you're going to take that same energy and you're going to actually create something even better. So I'm just trying to understand what's going on here. I mean, it's a general read, I get that, but like, you were stabilizing something, you were seeing it. I feel like I don't want to see it. I feel like part of this is I don't want to see what's really happening here. I want to believe better. I feel like that's part of this. Yeah, you hear it. I feel like the truth is really there. And there's something here where maybe some maybe some connections or some people need to kind of exit out of your life. There might be some of that going on here. We might be doing something like that. Something is shaky. Something is a little shaky, and I keep getting this. Um, Whatever this situation is, it is very alluring, but I also get that there's some falsehoods with it. When I see the moon coming in with what I'm looking at, I don't understand what's going on. I feel like somebody might be love bombing, even if it's like a promotion or something at work. Somebody's like love bombing is not just a romance thing, in my opinion. Maybe there's a different term that's used for it, but like when people like gush on you and make you feel like you're so wonderful and they want to have you but they never give you what you want, it's kind of like, oh, you didn't get this promotion but one day, and let's try to get somewhere else, and let's do this and let's do that, so if I can see if I can get you up there next time, and next time this and next time that, but oh, we love you, we love you, we love you. Like love bombing to keep what they want but still not giving you what you want. I don't know if that's the right way to use that word, but something here is shaky. Something here is kind of like, how come they love me so much, but they never give me what I want? How come I'm so good, but not good enough to get that? Like, something's not right here. And you've done a lot of work, and it's kind of like I'm good enough to try to keep where I am, but I'm not good enough to give me what I want. What's going on with this? I don't like this. You do put in a lot of effort, and you are advancing through this. The emotions, you're going to end a cycle. You're ending some type of pattern. You're ending a cycle. Everybody has patterns in their life. Everybody has things that they got to work through. Like, I did a reading once, and somebody said to me, the way it came across, I don't know if it meant to come across that way, was that, like, they're like, why do I have to have these patterns? And I was kind of shocked that they said that. I was like, what do you mean? They're like, why can't I have, like, the nice life that everybody else has? And I'm like, I don't think that's real. Everybody has challenges. Everybody has challenges. If they say their life is perfect, they're one of two things. Either they're lying or they're crazy. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. So this is just your pattern. So it's not meant to be like punishment. This is just something that's going to develop and help you move forward and help you get better in life. We all have them. We all have them. So in case it seems like you've been singled out, or it's almost like feeling picked on or something, like how come I can never have what I want? How come it seems like it happens for everybody else but me? There's so many things in life. There's so many different categories in life. This might be your challenge category, but even though somebody else may be doing good in this category, there's other categories that they're having struggles in. So this just seems to be the one for you. And you're ending that pattern, which is a very positive thing in my opinion. This is another reason I feel like you're ending this. You also have the world coming up. That's another big reason. But you got judgment going on here in the sense of like you're taking the graduate course. You're taking the test that like shows that you've learned way more than enough to move on from this situation, to move out of this class, not only out of this class, out of the school, into your graduate time, into your certificate, into your diploma, whatever it means. I'm not going to say that this situation won't repeat in your life. I'm saying you're learning enough at this point that when it does try to repeat, you'll shut that down real fast. And it won't be allowed to repeat. So you are ending a cycle here. This next part is just something. These two cards together, very contradictory. If you look at them, there's a moment of disappointment coming in, where you're realizing, again, this is not happening. Whatever this is, you're like, again, this is not happening. And they're saying yes, and you're supposed to like see it for the pattern that it is. See it for the pattern that it is. Maybe you're believing in somebody or something that doesn't deserve your loyalty. And that's the point. That's the point. It's like, for seeing somebody for who they are does not make you a bad person. It makes you an honest person. It makes you a loyal. Like, self-loyalty is important. I hate this analogy, but I'll do it. It's like being a parent of a child and realizing that child has some very toxic traits. Also realizing that even though you're the parent of that child, if this is the analogy, you're not the only influence to that child. There's a whole world that has created experiences and possibilities and options for this child. And if they're making some negative choices, that partially, especially depending on their age, is on them. If they're an adult child, it's completely on them at this point. Sometimes accepting something for what it is very hard, but they're saying it's accepting it for what it is and then positioning yourself in a place that's more healthy for you. I'm sure it won't be, hopefully it won't be for many of you where it's a child thing, or it could be a parent or some type of relative or something like that. Seeing somebody that I feel like I don't want to see that version, and then finally seeing it changes things, and realizing it has nothing to do with who you are. It has everything to do with who they are and what you are willing to allow and not allow because of it. The choice here going forward, even though the point is you're supposed to end the cycle, the pattern, because for the people that that's going to hit with, like, that was a hard analogy, that was rough, I think. It's hard to, sometimes it's really hard to see people for who they are when you very much care about them. And it doesn't mean you have to stop caring about them, but in my opinion, it may mean that you have to really reevaluate what you will and will not allow in your life, and what you will assist this person with in their life. Because sometimes we can shut things down and not allow them to treat us a certain way, but we can, if we're not careful, sometimes enable that behavior going towards other people. We got to kind of keep an eye on that too. Like, I'm not going to allow you to do that to me, but I don't want to give you car rides, for example, to places where I help you traumatize somebody else. I don't want to do that either. And it's kind of like I might have to reevaluate how I assist this person, because again, just because you see them for who they are and you're not allowing them to treat you a certain way, doesn't mean you have to stop loving them, but you have to edit how you handle them. Be careful how much you negotiate here, is what I'm also getting the thing. This energy is not for you to negotiate with. If you see this for what it really is, there's problems here. It doesn't even have to mean that this person's a bad person. They may have just serious problems. But even though they're not a bad person, maybe it is stemming from issues, trauma, whatever. I've said this a lot, and it's something I feel like I'll always say. Victims do not get the right to create new victims. There may be a good reason they act the way they do. There may be a good reason they are who they are. Doesn't mean you have to be mean to them, but you definitely don't have to take the negative behavior. You don't want to enable it either. So I get that there's no negotiating with this. That's not where this is hopefully going. See this for what it is. Do that because you're looking to end the cycle here, and it is a cycle. This is why this isn't working. This is why this isn't happening. This is why something isn't working out. This is why it's not happening. I know that's the question. Like, why isn't this happening? Why isn't this going where it should be? Why isn't this doing what I want it to do? You're meant to not negotiate with it. You're meant to make up your own mind, see it for what it is, and you are meant to be the executive and dictator of this experience for how you are willing to connect to it. And by doing that, by embracing that, does that say embrace? Embrace your life purpose? Well, embracing that moment and not negotiating with this energy anymore. Whatever this is, it's like, I'm not negotiating anymore. I've seen enough. For whatever, it doesn't matter the reason they're doing what they're doing, it's not working. It's not helping you. It's not working. You deciding and you just setting the rules. It's a dictator moment. It's a dictator moment. What you will and will not allow in your life. That will break this. This seems like for whoever's choosing this, it's about something that's very painful and something that I want to go better. It's very hard to make that choice. It's very hard to do that. But because it's the hardest one, once I do this one, once I make this stand with this person or situation, I'm not about to let lesser situations pull this on me anymore. It's kind of like, I moved all those big bricks. I moved all those 50-pound rocks. I'm not going to allow a couple 10 or 5-pound rocks get in my way anymore. I moved those 50-pound ones out of my way, and I got past this path, If a pile of like 5 to 10 pound rocks get in my way, it's not going to be as hard to move, and I'm not going to put up with it. I know I can move the bigger ones. I'm going to move these smaller ones. I'm not going to allow that from lesser energies. I took care of the bigger one. I accepted that I had to do what I had to do with the bigger ones. Because I overcame that, I'm not about to accept it from smaller ones. What are these last two cards? Whatever the situation is that isn't working, I feel like they're saying it's meant to set you up in a place where you take control of what you will and will not allow in your life. There's a lot coming in here at the end. All this seems to come at once. By overcoming this, you're going to be surprised at how much happier you're going to be. Love is still there. This doesn't mean your heart's going to close in any sense. In fact, it might open up that much more. You may have more love for yourself, which will reverberate. And the more love you have for yourself, the more love you have for others. Self-love is not selfish. I don't know why people think that once in a while. I feel like that's kind of warped. The more you love yourself, the more you have love for others. There's a difference between love and like conceit. I feel like people... Loving yourself is not being stuck on yourself. Loving that you're in life, loving having these experiences, loving the people around you, like it's all a part of the package. The more you love you, the more you can love others. Like it's... The conceit is its own thing. Loving yourself is not conceit. So I don't know if somebody needs to hear that or what the deal is there, but loving yourself is not conceit. Like using it as a weapon, that's not love. Like walking into a room and being like, I am just the gift to the world, that's not self-love. That's something else. That does something else. But like showing up and being like, I deserve to be here. I love how I look today. I love that I'm being a part of this. I love that people love me. I spend my time with people I actually care about. I give my time to people who matter to me because I value my time, and thus the time I give is of value. That's a positive thing. And this is seeming to kind of evolve that forward. Self-love is not a bad thing. Self-love and conceit also different. Those are different, totally different things. I know some people get confused with that. Self-love and conceit, that's different. That's totally a different thing. Will there still be craziness around you with whatever the situation is? Probably. These two cards together remind me of somebody having a tantrum, because a lot of times the pages I see between the 12 to 14-year-old and the conflict around with that energy, like that's the beginning of puberty typically, right? For those of you who can remember back, like I feel like I can't really. I know that I went through it. I don't really remember a lot of instances about it, but like that's a chaotic time. There's going to be this weird push-pull, tantrum, have fun. Whatever this is, this situation, it's going to kind of try to tease you and try to pull you back in. It reminds me of somebody in my life that tried to play the poor me game, and I'm just like, I can't. I can't. I'm sorry. I usually just don't say anything when they start playing that poor me game. I'm like, okay, you're going to have to play that game by yourself. It's going to have to be solitaire because I can't help you. You don't have to worry about that. I feel like as it goes forward, I feel like you're going to see the games more for the games that they are. What does this say? Time to play. Like, there's going to be bad behavior, but you're going to start seeing it for the game that it is, and you're going to start reacting to it differently, and your life is going to improve. You're going to be a lot happier. It's getting past this moment. You're asking the right question. You're ending a cycle, and this is kind of what it takes to make that happen. Again, it's not that these things won't show up in your life again, but again, once I get over this biggest hurdle, it's like, well, I already got over that hurdle. I'm not going to settle for these little ones. I was able to jump that 5 foot, what are they, like 3 feet? I think they're 3 feet. I got over that 3 foot hurdle. This 1 foot, 2 foot thing, no, I'm not going to put up with that. I'm not going to be afraid of that. I'll get across that. I got over that 3 foot one. I can get over this 2 foot. I can get over this 1.5 foot one. I can get over this 1 foot one. Not even going to let that be a problem. That's how that pattern's going to end. Doesn't mean it won't show up again. It just means you won't settle for it again. So why isn't this happening? Can it change? Well, there you go. That's the answer I got for this one. That's where it went, so I'm just going to trust it. Hopefully that helps. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day. Hello, this is for those of you who chose the Citrine, which looks very vibrant all of a sudden on camera. I hope it looks that vibrant when you guys see it. This is for those who chose the Citrine. Why isn't this happening? Can things change? See what we got. Ooh. Be sure that you want things to change. It's not funny. It's not funny. All right, it's funny, not funny. Now, whatever this is, it may have a slow energy to it. But once it starts going, I keep thinking like, are you sure this is something you want? Whatever this is, be sure. Because I feel like right now it's starting to start slowly. There's a lot of truth coming forward on this situation. Now, you've had time to decide what's really right for you. And whatever this is, it's coming in very slowly. Is it something new? What's going on here? Because I feel good energy about to start. I'll be honest, of the 3 that I've just done, this is the 3rd. But this is kind of looking like the best. The other 2 are a little bit rough. In their own way, they were kind of rough, in my opinion. If you get a moment, watch them. Let me know what you think. But, Justice coming in. And the 7 of Pentacles reversed. Okay, so whatever this was, you created something here from nothing. Something is being created from nothing. The 7 of Pentacles reversed is telling me there's no foundation, nothing that's been coming forward. You're creating something from nothing. And Justice is saying you want it, you want to be a part of it, and it's starting to show up. It's just showing up very slowly. It's starting to move forward very slowly. So, for example, if this is like trying to work for yourself, trying to create something where you're more self-sufficient, if that's the goal here, and it's kind of like, I feel like this isn't working, this isn't really happening, I'm not getting what I need out of it. Currently, the energy feels like there's not enough or nothing. It's either there's nothing there or not enough, one of the two. That's not going to always be the case. Just be sure that you want what you're going towards, because you're starting to create something here. But it's coming in with the Ace of Pentacles, which to me, that's like, the best analogy I always get is like an elm tree. When you first plant it, you get that seed popping through. Maybe it's like, I don't know, maybe say it grows like 6 inches, 6 to 8 inches, argument's sake. I don't know how fast it grows the first year. But like that first year, it is where it is, but you can still pluck it out and you can stop it fairly easily. After 30 years, for example, it's just, we're just going to say, or maybe 10 years, just for argument's sake, we'll say 10 years. It's not as easy to move. It's not as easy to get rid of if you decide you don't really want it. I'm just saying. So, whatever it is you're creating here, they're like, well, it's not that it's not happening. It's just slow. It's molasses slow. It's molasses slow. Right now, it's molasses. Yeah, it is. But they're trying to give you a moment here to like, just, can we be sure you want this? Can we just be sure? Is it bad? No. This is not a bad thing. This is going to be a road, though, as it grows slowly but surely. You need to stay diligent, and you need to edit and guide and direct the situation where you want it to go. So for some of you, maybe this is a romance thing. And it's kind of like, maybe I'm seeing somebody, but it's not seeming to go anywhere just yet. It's going to start moving forward just slowly. But like as this relationship grows, if certain things happen and it's kind of like, oh, they said something I didn't really care for, or I didn't really like this, or I didn't like that, they just ignored my needs, or, they were supposed to pick me up and they didn't. Don't brush it off like it's not that important. We don't have to make it a 4-alarm fire, granted. I'm with you on that. But it's something we should talk about. It's something we should acknowledge. This is kind of like the tending to the garden, if you will. If somebody does something and you're just like, I didn't like the way that sounded, maybe in a private moment, we're kind of like off to the side, like, hey, you know, I just want to bring this up because you said this and that bothers me. And I understand that might be your opinion, but you could articulate that at the very least a little bit better. Stuff like that. Something is starting here. These two cards are coming in. This is like, it's starting to come forward. There should be a click forward. Like a click forward. And when I get the Ace of Pentacles, I don't know. It feels slow to me, but like, I feel like every 6 months I'm getting a click. Every 6 months I'm getting a click. Every 6 months I'm getting a click. For some of you, it might be every year. It is what it is. I don't know what the situation is, but like, there's a notable amount of time click. Notable amount of time click. Notable amount of time click. It gets more intense slowly but surely. Probably like every 6 months. It could be different. Remember, it's a general read. As this keeps moving forward, they're like, it is coming forward. It is starting to show up. It's just real slow. I'm getting it's just real slow. Because it seems like the question is, why isn't this happening? Can it change? It's like, well, it is happening. They're saying it is happening. It's just, you feel like it isn't. It doesn't feel like it's enough at the very least. That might be why you're like asking, why isn't this happening? It feels like there's not enough here to actually count it as if it was happening. This next moment that's coming forward is going to yield some more benefits. This reminds me of like having little surges of energy. There's going to be a moment here where there's a chance to jump forward. That seems to be coming up next. It's kind of like, it seems like nothing's happening, and then it clicks forward. Soon after that, there seems to be a surge where things could go faster. There's a real big, like, don't do this, like a flashing, like, don't do this, don't do this. Can you have it? Yes. Should you have it? Yes. Don't ride the surge. The surge has a backlash. It reminds me of a tsunami. It's kind of like, once you think the first wave came through, then another one will crash. Be careful of the surge. Be careful of the surge. They're saying, if you ride that wave, it's going to have backlash. So if we're going to use like a relationship example, like it's almost like something going forward too quick, and then somebody like then the other person realizing like, I didn't really want to do this yet, I wasn't ready for this yet, and then all of a sudden having a freak out, and then it could cause a lot of damage to the relationship. I've seen relationships fail over this, when it goes forward too quickly, one person freaks out, and then it just kind of makes things crash. Be careful not to move forward too quickly, even though there's a surge. For example, another example is if you start your own business, and I like food, so I'm going to use cakes as an analogy. Maybe your own cake making business, just for argument's sake. And normally you could do 2 to 3 cakes a week, great quality, no stress, loving life. But your goal is to like for that to be your profession, right? That you want that to be your profession, just for argument's sake, because business, all that good stuff. If you also get a surge, and you're like getting an order for a wedding, and they're like, we want you to make 500 small cakes for this venue, or whatever it is, or like something like that, and we need them all on Saturday. It's 2 weeks away. I'm using 500 small cakes as an analogy. Like that's a lot. And you're like, well, I don't want to say no because I want the business. Say no. Say no. Don't go with the surge just because it's there. Tell them what you can do and be like, you know what, I don't feel like I can competently give you what you want at that level. Here's what I can offer for you. I can supply you with this, but that's going to be beyond my means. The work is, whatever it is, the work or whatever it may be, is going to come forward. There's going to be a surge. They're saying avoid it. You don't have to do it. This is not going to define whatever you want next. Pulling back a little bit and realizing this is too much at one time, and you self-regulating that, regaining your focus, and realizing like, whoa, okay, I wanted this, and I kind of do like that. I want to be a professional baker. I want to be full-time, but jumping that far forward and being afraid to say no, that's going to cause damage. That could sink the ship for a few different reasons. Be careful of that, especially if you end up doing this and it ends up not being the quality you want to be known for. That could be very damaging. You know what I mean? They're saying don't go with the surge. Don't let the surge drive you. Don't feel like you can't say no to the surge. Again, whatever it is, you don't have to say just flat out no. Just say what you want. Say like, listen, I could do 10 small cakes for that day. I can't do 500. I could do really good quality, 10 of them. I could have 10 out for that one day. I could make that work. I could do that for you, but I can't do 500. It's not going to be realistic. So you don't have to just be like, no. You can just kind of say, well, that's not going to work, that this would. That's fine, too. Whatever this is, it's meant to happen. Your version is meant to happen, though. That's kind of the thing with this one. Why isn't this happening again? They keep telling me it is. It's just coming in really slow. But they're also kind of like, be careful about how you want this to happen. I feel like maybe I said it weird in the beginning. Because I was like, do you really want this? Do you want this on somebody else's terms? Or do you want this on your terms? I feel like the obvious answer is you want this on your terms. There's an energy here that's trying to guide you forward. Whatever this is, you have to be at peace with how you want it, and you have to make it defined the way you want it. Doesn't mean you're controlling anybody else. Doesn't mean you're forcing anybody else to do what you want. It's just simply having your own boundaries, in your own self-regulation, your own self-loyalty. Kind of like, that's not the version I want. If that's what you want, you're going to need somebody else for that. I'm willing to do this. I'm willing to go this far. I can do this for you. I will add in this way. I'm willing to do this part to this level. If this is not what matches, this is not for me. And just having your own boundaries, kind of like not letting somebody else kind of push you forward. Like, well, if you're going to do this, you're going to do it our way. No. And I feel like that's why they're saying, are you sure you want this? Because there's going to have to be a high level of self-loyalty if you're going to get that quality that you really want to enjoy. Especially relationships, business opportunities, whatever it is you're going forward in, you have to self-regulate and you have to have that self-loyalty if you're really going to get that beautiful outcome you actually are. If you're going to get that outcome that's attracting you to this, that self-loyalty and those boundaries are critical. If you don't have that and you let the surge own you, you may end up really disliking something that you originally loved. If it starts to own you, if it starts to control you, something you originally loved might be the most painful thing and most like, I don't want anything to do with it thing down the road. If you let it rule you, you have to rule it. You can't let it rule you. Don't let the surge rule you. Regulate boundary. Doesn't mean you have to live anybody else's life or like tell anybody, well, this is what you have to do. You don't have to be anybody else's boss. I'm not saying that. You just got to regulate it for yourself. Excuse me. It may seem weird, and people may push back if there's other people involved. People may want to fear-monger you. People get addicted to that fear-mongering stuff. But people will calm down because whatever this is, so like I used the cake-making business, people would be a brat about it and be like, well, if you can't do the 500, then bye. Good life. Have a good life. Bye. All right, fine. Don't let that ruin your day. Usually people will go, all right, at least you're honest. I don't want this to be a mess. The energy will come around. They might, this could even be one of those things this could be one of those things where somebody complains about you. Oh, Citrine there. I said I wanted 500 cakes, and Citrine was like, oh, I can only do 10. So I kicked them to the curb. And people are like, well, why? Well, they said that's all they could do, quality cakes. They could only do 10 quality cakes for what I wanted, so they said no to me. They would do 10, and that was it. Ironically, that might go to your benefit in the wrong way, but in a good way. in a wrong way, but a good way. Keep that, because I get that, like, when you set those boundaries, it'll work to your benefit. Be careful about worrying about other people and other people's issues. I've learned that down the road. Sometimes people see people for who they are, and you just kind of have to trust that the right people hear what they're supposed to hear. Sometimes people are just negative, and other people who have to deal with those negative people are like, oh my God, the fact that anybody would put up with this person who's demanding is its own thing. Don't worry about that. Setting your boundaries, setting what you need, go with that. The door will open when it's ready. But it's kind of like, let it go slowly. Let this build slowly. Let this situation build slowly. Be careful with that surge. Because the way this started, and I keep getting, is like, I feel like it's not happening. It's not moving, or it's barely moving, or it's not enough. It's going to start moving forward. Just, they're warning you, don't ride the surge. Don't let the surge own you. The door will open in its time. There will be moments where you're like, you'll look back at that surge and you'll be like, oh, I wish I did. Because I'm like, I feel like I'd have been ahead now. It's not really. It's gonna kind of be like fool's gold. You might look back and see where there were surges and you let them pass, and you're gonna be like, oh, should I really let them go? It's building. It's building in a very stable, long, sustainable way. The door is gonna open in its own timing. Self-loyalty, doing how you want to do it, keeping loyal to what your vision needs to be. That's what's going to create this. The reason it's happening the way it is like they're trying to show you the benefits of it going slow and building slowly. It's like the elm tree, though. It gets a little stronger every year to the point where when you finally have what you want, it's very hard for it to be taken away from you, which is the point. You know what I mean? The longer it goes, the more stable it gets. I know I've already talked about this, but the Ten of Pentacles with more change, it's going to keep coming. It's kind of like as this tree keeps, getting bigger, it gives more benefits. It attracts different birds. It gives shade. It gives all this other stuff, all these other benefits that I wasn't expecting. More things are going to come from this. You also got this showing up, which is telling me much more happiness than I thought. People liking you a lot more than maybe they do right now. Take that with a grain of salt. People really starting to love you a lot more than you feel right now. That seems to be more self-recognition, more people seeing you for the beauty that you have to give in this situation. If this is built correctly, when you get to this King of Fire energy, King of Wands, when you get here, this is going to build over time. I know it's fire, but still. When you finally get to the spot where everything is flying and everything's up where you want it, and you got that level, and you finally hit the level that you want, if you built it slowly but surely, you're going to have those boundaries to where it's just second nature for you to make sure things stay in a beautiful place for you. If you ride the surge all the way to this point, you're going to keep regulating it with those rules. You're going to keep going with the running to this, running to that, letting other people own you, letting other people tell you how to live your life, letting other people demand things and dictate what your success will look like. So they're kind of saying the way this is happening is meant to be more of a gift than a hindrance. It's happening slowly. If right now it probably feels like it's not happening at all, I give you that. But when it starts going forward, it's going to slow and surely. Don't let the surges own you. Don't ride the surges. They're saying go keep it slow, regulate it at a slow level. So when you finally get here, it'll be second nature for you to just keep these boundaries and keep it comfortable and keep it enjoyable. This whole thing that you're moving towards, you're meant to enjoy it. You personally want to enjoy it, like I would think you would. When you get there, you want to enjoy it. And they're saying this is how you build that energy. You get that in your favor, so that when it's time and it's going crazy and it's going fast, you're like, you already have your boundaries, so it doesn't rule your life. You rule the situation. It does not rule you. If you ride the surge, the reverse is going to happen. It will rule you. So that's the whole point of this. This is one of those, at least this one was like, this is going to go your way. I like this. I feel like this is going to end up where you finally want it to go at some point. It's just going slow right now is what they're saying. It's just a slow thing. And they're saying this could be to your benefit. This could be a beautiful thing. Whew. All right. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email. jamesforastral@gmail.com. It's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.